Good morning, readers. Today we are going to read another book, Chrysanthemum by Kevin Henkes. Let's look at the cover page first. All right, we see a big flower. What flower is that? Let's have a look at the other pictures as well. I can see somebody sleeping. Beautiful, colorful pictures. I think she's trying to climb up a tree. I can see a birthday cake. Look at the beautiful pictures. Oh, is she sleeping again? She's writing something on the ground. Oh, look at that, a big hug. Is she trying to get wet in the rain? Oh, such lovely pictures. Do you see that rainbow there? All right, let's begin. I'm sure you're excited to read this book along with me. Let's begin. Chrysanthemum. The day she was born was the happiest day in her parents' lives. "She's perfect," said her mother. "Absolutely," said her father. And she was. She was absolutely perfect. What do you think? She looks perfect, isn't it? "Her name must be everything she is," said her mother. "Her name must be absolutely perfect," said her father. And it was. What was her name? Share your guesses in the chat in the comment section. Chrysanthemum. Right, Chrysanthemum was her name. Her parents named her Chrysanthemum. Chrysanthemum grew, and grew. And when she was old enough to appreciate it, Chrysanthemum loved her name. Do you see that? She's happily playing. She loved the way it sounded when her mother woke her up. She loved the way it sounded when her father called her for dinner. And she loved the way it sounded when she whispered it to herself in the bathroom mirror. Chrysanthemum, chrysanthemum, chrysanthemum. Chrysanthemum loved the way her name looked when it was written with ink on an envelope. She loved the way it looked when it was written with icing on her birthday cake. And she loved the way it looked when she wrote it herself with her fat orange crayon. Chrysanthemum, chrysanthemum, chrysanthemum. She used to write it everywhere. She used to love her name. Readers, now you tell me, how many of you love your name? I love my name. Chrysanthemum thought her name was absolutely perfect, and then she started school. On the first day, Chrysanthemum wore her sunniest dress and her brightest smile. She ran all the way. "Hooray!" said Chrysanthemum. "School!" Now she was going to school. What do you think, readers? Do you think all her friends would love her name? Share your thoughts in the comment section. But when Mrs. Judd took roll call, everyone giggled upon hearing Chrysanthemum's name. Why did everybody giggle? What do you think? Share your thoughts, please. "It's so long," said Joe. "It scarcely fits on your name tag," said Rita, pointing. "I'm named after my grandmother," said Victoria. "You are named after a flower?" Oh, were they trying to make fun of her name? Chrysanthemum wilted. She did not think her name was absolutely perfect. She thought it was absolutely dreadful. Suddenly her feelings changed. How do you think she is feeling at this moment? Dreadful, isn't it? Everybody was making fun of her name. The rest of the day was not much better. During nap time, Victoria raised her hand and informed Mrs. Judd that Chrysanthemum's name was spelled with 13 letters. That's exactly half as many letters as there are in the entire alphabet, Victoria explained. Thank you for sharing that with us, Victoria, said Mrs. Judd. Now put your head down. Look at that. All of them are sleeping during the break. If I had a name like yours, I'd change it, Victoria said as the students lined up to go home. I wish I could, thought Chrysanthemum miserably. Look at her face. She's feeling miserable. Welcome home, said her mother. Welcome home, said her father. School is no place for me, said Chrysanthemum. My name is too long. It scarcely fits on my name tag, and I am named after a flower. Oh, Bish, said her mother, your name is beautiful and precious and priceless and fascinating and winsome, said her father. It's everything you are, said her mother. Absolutely perfect, said her father. What do you think, boys and girls? Was her name perfect? Or was it too long? Was it a silly one? Share your thoughts in the comment section and let me know why do you think so. Chrysanthemum felt much better after her favorite dinner, macaroni and cheese with ketchup. Hello readers, what's your favorite dinner? And an evening filled with hugs and kisses and parcheesi. That night Chrysanthemum dreamt that her name was Jane. It was an extremely pleasant dream. The next morning Chrysanthemum wore her most comfortable jumper. She walked to school as slowly as she could. Why do you think she walked slowly? She dragged her feet in the dirt. Chrysanthemum, 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 she wrote. She even looks like a flower, said Victoria as Chrysanthemum entered the playground. Let's pick her, said Rita, pointing. Let's smell her, said Joe. Chrysanthemum wilted. She did not think her name was absolutely perfect. She thought it was absolutely dreadful. Readers, now you have to tell me if someone was making fun of you in this manner, how would you have felt? Please let me know about that. The rest of the day was not much better. During nap time, Victoria raised her hand and said, a chrysanthemum is a flower. It lives in a garden with worms and other dirty things. Thank you for sharing that with us, Victoria, said Mrs. Judd. Now put your head down. I just cannot believe your name, Victoria said as the students lined up to go home. Neither can I, thought Chrysanthemum miserably. So they continued to make fun of her. Welcome home, said her mother. Welcome home, said her father. School is no place for me, said Chrysanthemum. They said I even look like a flower. They pretended to pick me and smell me. Oh, Bish, said her mother. They are jealous and envious and begrudging and discontented and jaundiced, said her father. Who wouldn't be jealous of a name like yours? Said her mother. After all, it's absolutely perfect, said her father. Chrysanthemum felt a trifle better after her favorite dessert, chocolate cake with buttercream frosting, and another evening filled with hugs and kisses and parcheesi. That night Chrysanthemum dreamed that she really was a chrysanthemum. She sprouted leaves and petals. Victoria picked her and plucked the leaves and petals one by one until there was nothing left but a scrawny stem. It was the worst nightmare of Chrysanthemum's life. Have you ever had a nightmare? What was that all about? Would you like to share that with me? Chrysanthemum wore her outfit with 7 pockets the next morning. She loaded the pockets with her most prized possession and her good luck charms. Chrysanthemum took the longest route possible to school. She stopped and stared at each and every flower. Chrysanthemum, 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 the flowers seemed to say. That morning the students were introduced to Mrs. Twinkle, the music teacher. Her voice was like something out of a dream, as was everything else about her. The students were speechless. They thought Mrs. Twinkle was an indescribable wonder. They went out of their way to make a nice impression. Mrs. Twinkle led the students in scales. Then she assigned roles for the class musical. Victoria was chosen as the dainty fairy queen. Rita was chosen as the spiffy butterfly princess. Jo was chosen as the all-important pixie messenger. And Chrysanthemum was chosen as a daisy. Do you see that? They're all getting ready for the musical. Chrysanthemum's a daisy. Chrysanthemum is a daisy. Jo, Rita, and Victoria chanted, thinking it was wildly funny. Chrysanthemum wilted. She did not think her name was absolutely perfect. She thought it was absolutely dreadful. "What's so humorous?" asked Mrs. Twinkle. "Chrysanthemum," was the answer. "Her name is so long," said Jo. "It scarcely fits on her name tag," said Rita, pointing. "I'm named after my grandmother," said Victoria. "She's named after a flower." "My name is long," said Mrs. Twinkle. "It is?" said Jo. "My name would scarcely fit on a name tag," said Mrs. Twinkle. "It would," said Rita, pointing. "And," said Mrs. Twinkle, "I am named after a flower too." "You are?" said Victoria. "Yes," said Mrs. Twinkle. "My name is Delphinium, Delphinium Twinkle. And if my baby is a girl, I am considering Chrysanthemum as a name. I think it's absolutely perfect." "Oh, how do you think Chrysanthemum must be feeling at this point of time?" Chrysanthemum could scarcely believe her ears. She blushed, she beamed, she bloomed. Chrysanthemum, chrysanthemum, chrysanthemum. Jo, Rita, and Victoria looked at Chrysanthemum longingly. "Call me Marigold," said Jo. "I am Carnation," said Rita, pointing. "My name is Lily of the Valley," said Victoria. So now all her friends wanted to be named after a flower. Chrysanthemum did not think her name was absolutely perfect. She knew it. Look at that, the beautiful rainbow. She's feeling happy once again. She's feeling really, really happy. Look at that. So that's the end of the story. So readers, now you have to tell me, how did you think, how did you feel after reading this story? Do you love your name? Let me know about it. Also, let's now think, what did we learn from this story? What was the message? Okay, think about it. And please do share it with me in the comment section. That's great. Now let's have a look at the epilogue. Overall, the class musical was a huge success. Chrysanthemum was absolutely perfect as a daisy. Victoria made the only mistake. She completely forgot her lines as the dainty fairy queen. Chrysanthemum thought it was wildly funny, and she giggled throughout the entire dance of the flowers. Eventually, Mrs. Tinkle gave birth to a healthy baby girl, and of course, she named her Chrysanthemum. So that's the end of the story. See you once again with another book. Take care. Bye bye.